Welcome to Clear Code Camp. Since the people join now are people who are repeated from the earlier sessions, I think you would be knowing about the Clear Code Camp. This is a open platform where we share the knowledge that we have acquired in the corporate trainings. So we are representing Clear Code Consulting Services, and we do online trainings and corporate trainings for various requirements. So this platform is purely for knowledge sharing and doesn't have any commercial backend behind it. So this is all about the clear code camp that we organize. This is camp number 4 where we are going to discuss about Selenium Grid, and we would be discussing in detail about the various concepts of Selenium Grid, how to enable a grid, or considering the basic that you know about TestNG. So this is going to be taken forward with the basic precondition that you know about TestNG. So if in case you don't know about TestNG, probably you can just understand what is happening, and maybe you can put out questions later on, or in the upcoming sessions we'll discuss about TestNG again. So last camp was on mobile testing, and prior to that it was on C Sharp and Java difference between them, and prior to that it was on uh, the Selenium Cucumber, which was a BDD trending framework. So these are all different concepts which we have covered so far, and today it's going to be on Selenium Grid. So let me just take up to my screen. So when we take up Selenium Grid basically is something which works with the concept of hub and node. So right from the time Selenium initiated in the industry, it was running on the concept of Selenium Server RC, that was termed as Selenium 1.0. So Selenium Grid is majorly categorized into two types: Selenium 1.0, that is something which works with the concept of RC, and then Selenium 2.0, which works with WebDriver. So Grid was available on both the concepts. Selenium 2.0 is now the latest version 3.12 as of date 20th May 2018, and this particular version is what we are going to work today. So Grid basically, when you consider, as the word specifies, it is gridding various components together, that is network of various platforms. So say for example you wanted to execute your test on Windows, on Mac, on mobile, in various environments. You cannot do everything into a single machine. So you need the support of another machine, or you need the support of another environment, maybe a virtual environment or a real-time environment, where you can initiate all of these. And say for example you wanted to test on various versions of your browser. So Firefox 11, Firefox 12, Firefox 13, if you want to test on all three versions. You cannot install all the three versions into your single machine. So we'll install this particular browser versions into individual machines, and we try to connect them into the network and try to execute the test. So Grid basically has two components in it, that is hub and node. These are the two major components that are involved in the Grid. In order to start a server as a hub, once you have started a mission as a hub, that mission is going to have all the Selenium codes which you have written and which you have locally tested. That particular code which you have tested on hub can be passed on to the nodes and executed onto the node points, that is slaves. So hub stands as a server and node stands as slaves. So your command from the hub will be sent across to the nodes and execution will happen in your node terminals. So in order to initiate a hub and a node, we need Selenium server jar file, which you can download from seleniumhq.org. So you can get onto seleniumhq.org, download tab, and there you will have 3.12.0. You can just click on that and you can download the jar file. I have already downloaded that and I have it available in my downloads, which is going to be Selenium 3.12.0.jar. So I have it over here, Selenium server standalone 3.12.0.jar. So in order to start a hub, that is in order to start the main mission, you need a command that you need to pass into the command prompt from the location where your jar file is available. So you need to first navigate onto the location where your jar file is available after the jar is downloaded. You can just navigate onto that location by telling Java. First, you need to use cd command to navigate onto the downloads, because that is where the jar file is available. You need to get onto that folder or directory where the jar file is available. Be it Mac or be it Windows, whatever it is, it's this common activity that you need to do. Cd is a common command available on both. So you need to get onto the directory or the folder where the jar file is available. Then you need to put in the command java space hyphen jar space Selenium server standalone 312.0.jar. The complete file name should be there, including the .jar, hyphen role as hub. All these commands are readily available for your reference on seleniumhq.org as well. You can get on to documentation, scroll a bit down, you will have Selenium grid available. If you get on to Selenium grid, scroll a bit down, you will have starting the hub command, which talks about how to start a hub. Only thing is the version of jar might vary. It shows for 2.44, but the jar what we are going to use is 3.12.0. So you should be just cautious about, or you should be just careful about this particular component alone, what you initiate, and everything else is going to be same. So this is how you initiate a hub. You should initiate a hub with this basic command and hit enter. By default, a hub will be created, that is a master node will be created onto the terminal 4444. So I have various hubs and nodes already running, that is a problem. Yeah. So if I just say this, by default, a hub will be created onto 4444, localhost 4444. And it says nodes should register to 192.168.174.14444 grid register. This is where the slave should register. And this is how you can access the hub. So you can get onto your browser, get onto 192.168. You can get onto this port 168.174.14444, or alternatively you can say localhost colon 4444, and that gives you the Selenium grid interface. You can get onto the console. You will get list of browsers that are connected to your hub. There is no browser connected yet. So this is how we start the main server hub. This is the basic command, java space hyphen jar space the file name .jar hyphen role as hub. If you want to connect a node, I don't have facilities of multiple machine which I can show parallelly now because I cannot share multiple screens. So now I am going to initiate a node using the same machine. So I'm going to have nodes as well on the same machine as of now. The basic criteria or the basic requirement to initiate a node is the port should be the same. So 192.168.174 should be same. Maybe this one can be 2, 3, 4, etc. based on the number of devices you have connected to your network, etc. But this port 192.168 should be same. These two can vary according to the number of machines, according to the router ID, all that. But this particular base port should be same. That is, the machine should be in the same network, connected to the same network. Before you actually initiate the server commands, physically, it should be wired and connected through the same network, or through Wi-Fi, it should be connected to the same network. So now I'll initiate a node. I'll get on to the command prompt. The command to initiate a node is going to be again the same. You can get on to the downloads or wherever your jar file is available. You can put in the command java space. If suppose you are going to initiate a node, let's say you're running a basic test. So let's create a test and get back to this. Let's create a basic test. I'll create a Java project. And onto this, I'll first add the build path with testng, because testng is something which allows parallel execution. So I'll add the build path with testng and with Selenium. So I've added testng and Selenium 3.12.0. I'll write a basic code over here, which is a login logout activity. So I'll create a new package. And I'll create a class name under it, a class file, without public static void main, because testng doesn't have public static void main by default. So we'll create this environment first, then we'll just add @ before test public void initialize, where we are going to initiate the browser. So before tests are annotations, what you have in TestNG, maybe if you have worked with TestNG, you would be knowing about this. And we need a common platform. So these are all some best practices on TestNG. We'll have a common driver initiated. Under initialize, it's going to be driver is equal to new Firefox driver. Let's say this. And then you can say driver.manage.window.maximize, driver.manage.timeouts.implicitly wait. So these are all some best practices what you need to follow. So basically we have initiated the driver. Now normally when you run this code, it is going to ask you for the Gecko driver. That is the default architecture of Selenium. It will ask you for the presence of a driver using which you can initiate the session. So we'll copy the driver files, maybe from here, which we used in our previous sessions. So we'll copy the drivers folder and I'll say system.setProperty webdriver.gecko.driver, and the value is going to be driver slash gecko driver.exe. So this is what is going to initiate the driver. Then let's say @test public void test, import this test from testng. You can say driver.get http://magento.com, driver.find element by link text my account. That is, it will have to locate the my account on the Magento site. The business flow that I'm planning to execute over here is get on to magento.com, click on the my account at the top right. There is going to be a link. Populate the username, password, click on the login button. You will navigate into the user page and then click on the logout button. Then close your window. This is the business flow I'm going to execute. So I'll create that on a basic Firefox browser first. Driver.find element by ID email dot send keys, then driver.find element by ID. Since I've already worked with these applications, I'm just straight away using by ID. Since we are covering Selenium grid in detail, I consider that you know Selenium already. So I'm just using ID and password straight away. So this is about the activity what we are doing, followed by after test, where we are going to close the browser. So this is the basic command or basic functionality of login logout with respect to testng. Let me execute this class first. Make sure this is working fine without any interruption. So this has an issue. Driver executable does not exist. geckodriver.exe isn't available here. Only Chrome driver is available. So let me copy geckodriver.exe and add it over here. Yeah. Let me execute the code once again. So it initiates Firefox browser, navigates onto magento.com. clicks on my account link. Why is it not clicking on my account link? Okay, I haven't used a dot click over here. I just missed that. So this would fail. Okay. So anyway, it's working fine as of now to our expectation. So let me just execute it once again and make sure things are working perfectly all right. So it updates username, password, clicks on the login button, and finally clicks on the logout button, then closes the window. So test is completely working fine now. If in case you wanted to execute the same test onto Chrome browser, you can just change the property over here and you can do it. Only these two lines you need to change and everything else is going to be the same. So in these cases where you want to execute the same test both on Firefox and on Chrome at the same time, then you need to have a capability that decides whether which browser to execute or not. So for that you can say string browser as an argument which would be extracted from a third party user, that is which would be extracted using @parameters. @parameters is an annotation available in testng using which you can get data from the XML. So normally testngs will have a XML file. From the XML you can capture the data based on what the user inputs into the XML. You can execute that corresponding browser. So you can say @parameters under double quote browser, the same name what you have used over here. For this parameter, you can provide the value into testng XML, which can be generated by right clicking on the class file, getting onto testng and convert to testng. You will get the XML file auto generated. So into this XML file, into this auto generated XML file, we can add the parameters. So here within this test, you can just say parameter name is browser and the value corresponding to the parameter is going to be Chrome, or we have now used Firefox, so I'll tell FF. The value corresponding to the parameter is going to be FF. So that parameter is going to be captured over here, passed on into this initialize method. Now let's say switch browser case FF. If it is Firefox, then do these two steps. Break. Case GC. If it is Google Chrome, then you will have to say webdriver.chrome.driver, and this would be chrome driver.exe. So based on what browser you pass in the parameter, that corresponding browser is going to be initiated. So this is stage 2. Stage 1, write a formal test. Stage 2, parameterize the browser so that you can run once with any browser you want. We are not yet into grid concept. We are just working with first parameterizing the browser so that user can initiate whichever browser they want. Now get on to testng, your XML file. We have FF over here as parameter. So execute this, run as testng testng suite. It should open Firefox and do the testing. Instead of FF, you say GC. It should open Google Chrome and do the same testing activity. So let's run and check for both the browsers individually. This is going to be stage 2. So stage 1, create a simple test in testng. Stage 2, try to initialize the browser of your choice based on what you provide as an input into the XML. So it logs in, logs out, and closes the browser. Let me just convert it to GC and execute it. So what went wrong with GC? Okay, I've just missed this one. So it should be Chrome driver.exe. Yes. So now let me execute the XML. This starts fine with Chrome driver and executes it. So our stage 2 is also successful now. So we have successfully executed stage 2 of our testing. Stage 1, do the basic test. Stage 2, make the browser parameterize and try to access it from different environments. So it is logging in, clicking on the logout button and quitting. So for people who have joined new, let me just give a short intro about what has happened so far. We have just created a basic test in our testng first without any parameters. We have created a basic test that works with Firefox browser or Chrome browser of your choice. Then we have parameterized the browser and we have taken the input from the XML file so that the user can feed in the input according to their choice. They need not disturb the test case according to their requirements. That is going to be the activities what we have done so far. So here you can say GC or FF according to whichever browser you wanted to execute. This is what we have done so far.
Uh,
Yes, Manish.
Sorry to interrupt. I
Yes.
have one question.
Yeah.
If we include both the parameters in XML, say FF and GC together, so
Yeah.
how WebDriver will tackle it? So will it launch two instances and whichever thread priority gets the first will execute completely, then move to other, or you have to use threading concept there?
You will have to use threading concept if you want to create different instances. But if you want to use the same instances, then you will have to get on to grid. So grid is what is going to solve that issue. Normally you run it with both the instances. The latest instance what got initiated will only be effective. You say FF over here, it initiates Firefox. Immediately you have a parameter which says GC. GC would be effective there. FF would not be effective anymore.
Okay.
The instance would be overridden. So in order to overcome this issues is what we are getting onto Selenium Grid. Or you will have to get on to more advanced concepts in Java, that is threading. So we are provided with grid that can be easily used in order to overcome these issues. So now we have parameterized it in such a way that we can execute on any browser we want for the single run. Now what we are going to do is we are going to just create new instance of nodes. So the server can be initiated with the basic command. The Selenium server, for people who have connected new, I'll just repeat this. So the Selenium server can be initiated by just getting on to seleniumhq.org. Let me do everything right from the scratch, a couple of minutes. So you can get on to seleniumhq.org. Onto seleniumhq.org download tab, you will be able to download 3.12.0 Selenium Server standalone, which is used in generating the hub and nodes of your Selenium server. So this 3.12.0 can be downloaded. That's there in my downloads, already downloaded. I have it over here. So I'll get on to my command prompt or terminal based on whichever operating system you're into and just put in the command. Just navigate onto the location where it is going to be available and you can put in the command java jar Selenium Server Standalone 3.12.0.jar role as hub. So normally in your grid there are two roles, hub and node. Hub has all the main codes, nodes are where the execution happens. So we'll have the role as hub and initiate a server. So this starts a server by default on 4444. New nodes can register onto this particular hub IP, and this is where the client should connect to. Client should connect to is nothing but where your commands can be forwarded. So this is going to be the node register URL. Using this, we are going to register the node missions. So you can get onto the other mission that is in the same network either through Ethernet or through Wi-Fi. I'll use the same mission myself. I'll get onto the location where downloads is available. I mean where the Selenium server standalone is available. I'll create a node now. So I'll say Java space -jar space Selenium server standalone 3.12.0.jar space role as node, and the hub to which it should be connected is going to be this hub IP. So node should register onto this hub. So using that hub IP address, we are registering a new node. And you can say -port because we are starting in the same mission. By default, the nodes will be registered onto 5555. If you leave it by default without a port, the nodes will be registered onto 5555. So you get back over here, you can see that registered a node 12208. Might be because 5555 is being used, it has registered onto some default nodes 12208. So automatically it creates a node that is available and it registers itself. Now you will have to set the properties of your execution. So here, instead of just typing in Gecko driver or Firefox driver, etc., we need to say it as new remote driver. So we'll have to set capabilities and we'll have to pass it. When it goes to grid, this is no more going to be valid. Rather, we are going to set capabilities. Desired capabilities should be set when you are connecting to grid. So you can just say, you can set a common platform for desired capabilities over here. And under your desired capabilities, we just need to set these two again. Which browser you are going to initiate, where is the browser executable available. So if you do not manually want to set this browser executable, this executable should be set onto the location of your node mission. Onto your node mission, there should be a driver available. Because commands are sent across to node mission should understand what command is coming in. So node mission is what needs the driver file. The driver file cannot be located to your mission. The driver file should be located to where the node mission's driver file is available. So different node missions might have the driver file in different location. So what you can do in that case is, while initiating the node itself, you can say this is where the driver is available in my mission. Because on the node mission only, you are going to run this node command. This node command is going to be executed onto the node mission only. So when you are on the node mission and when you are executing this node command, you know where the driver is available on the node mission. So you need not do that into coding. Rather, you can just pass it as, if suppose you want this node to be initiated with Chrome driver, you can just say -d webdriver dot, that -d is nothing but -driver. Fix the driver with webdriver dot chrome dot driver as, I actually have it set on to my drivers chrome driver.exe. So you just need to repeat the same command with this additional argument. So Java -d webdriver.chrome.driver is equal to drivers chrome driver.exe, and then you can put in your command, and in order to specify a port, you can just specify -port space 1111, which means it will start a node onto the port 1111 with the capability of Chrome driver fixed in. So this is where on my node mission the Chrome browser is present, Chrome driver is present. So on your node machine, you need not have anything. You just need the Selenium server standalone file in order to start a node. You need Java in order to receive Java commands and execute it. And you need driver files available. Only these three are the components what you need in the node machine. You need not have Eclipse, you need not have Selenium codes, you need not have anything apart from this. Just the Selenium server standalone file in order to start a session, the Java in order to understand the codes that comes in, and the driver file in order to initiate the browsers. These three are the requirements that you need to have in the node mission. So we'll start a node mission 1111 with the capability of Chrome driver. Similarly, let's start a node mission on 2222 with the capability of Internet Explorer driver if required. So I'll copy this, create one more command prompt, paste that. I'll replace the capability as 2222, 2222, and webdriver.ie.driver is going to be Internet Explorer driver server, IE driver server, driver slash IE driver server dot exe. So my one is set with Chrome driver, two is set with Internet Explorer driver, and I'll initiate one more command for Firefox. So I'll say hyphen on 3333, I'll set Firefox driver, that is webdriver.gecko.driver as gecko-driver.exe. Now you get on to your console of the grid. So that is localhost 4444 is where your hub is running. Get on to that and get on to the console. You can see three nodes registered. These are all nothing but how many browsers you can initiate in that session. So at once you can initiate 5 Chrome browsers on this particular node, 5 Firefox browsers on this particular node, and 1 Internet Explorer browser can be initiated onto this particular node. So this is about the node details. So this is how you will get list of all connected devices from your server, from your hub. So from the hub, we are accessing this particular console. You will get all these details, which means the nodes are registered to the hub. Now, what is the change you need to make in your code? If it is Firefox, system.setProperty is not required because we have set it with -d WebDriver. You can just directly say what browser you wanted to initiate. Capability.setBrowserName. So Firefox is going to be on which particular port? So you need to make sure about that. First is going to be Chrome. Next is going to be Firefox. So for Firefox, you can just set the browser name as FF. For Google Chrome, you can set the browser name as Chrome. Set browser name is going to be Chrome. And you can add Internet Explorer. You can just say capability.set browser name as Internet Explorer. Then you can say break. So based on the browser, the capabilities are initiated now. After the capabilities are initiated, you need to start the driver passing these capabilities. So it's no more going to be Firefox, Chrome, Internet Explorer. It's going to be remote web driver. This is the only change what you will have from the basic code. Instead of Firefox, Internet Explorer, Chrome, you will have remote web driver. And instead of telling the browser specifically over here, we'll put it into capabilities and pass the capabilities into this remote web driver. So you can say new URL, comma, capabilities. So into URL, you can just pass the argument, that is, this is what is termed as. So when you consider the hub, you can see over here, client should connect to this particular point, WD hub. So likewise, for every individual port, we need to connect to that particular component. So on port 1111, it is going to be Chrome. So when you are working with Chrome itself, that is, if you say Firefox, you can just fix that over here. You can say port, or you can say URL is equal to http://localhost colon Chrome is going to be 1111 slash wd slash hub. This is where the command should go for Chrome browser. You can just make a URL as a common entity. You can just say string URL, and similarly you can just copy this. For Internet Explorer, it's going to be 3333, sorry, 2222, and for Firefox it's going to be 3333. So let's just make sure that on 3333 we have initiated Firefox. Okay, so for Firefox it's going to be 3333. These are all node IPs. To which node is your Firefox browser connected? To which node is your Chrome connected? So this is what is going to be different from your normal coding environment. Once you have initiated that, you can pass the URL over here and you can pass the capabilities. So the browser name and the URL will be combined together into this remote web driver concept. From there on, your code is going to be same again. So now let's get back to our XML. We'll initiate everything individually and check if the node is properly configured. So first GC, we'll check if Chrome is configured. You can execute this. It should start a Chrome browser. Yes, it has initiated a Chrome browser. Clicks on my account, updates the username and password, clicks on login, and finally clicks on the logout button. Let me change it to FF, execute it. So Firefox has some issues. Let's see what it is. Unable to create session for new session payload. What has happened? So if I say FF, it's going to correspond to set browser name Firefox, it should be. So let me execute this. So it initiates Firefox browser. And it does the activity same as what has happened on the Chrome. Let me just change it to IE so you can see that the test has passed successfully. Let me just change it to IE and execute it. It should initiate Internet Explorer and run it. The next stage is we are not going to touch the code at all. We are going to do activities into the XML that would fix this. So now we are running them individually browser by browser through hub and node concept. We have registered a main hub. We have registered nodes on the same machine, and so we are executing it internally. If you register from the other machine also, it's going to be the same set of coding. So for Internet Explorer, I need to use 32-bit. This is a defect that is available in the driver by default. It types in very slowly. If I use 32-bit Internet Explorer, it types in fast. It would work fine. So let me just close this now. So we have executed the test on three browsers individually. Now, if you want to execute the test three browsers one after the other, you can just copy this test term. At the rate test term can be copied multiple times. A suite can have multiple tests together. The test name should be different. Test 1, test 2, test 3. And all the three tests you can provide different capabilities. So now what happens is it will start with test 1. After completing test 1, it will go to test 2, then to test 3. If you want all of these to be executed parallelly, you have a capability in testng which says in the suite level parallel is equal to in which level do you want to execute it parallelly, in methods level or test level, or if you want to execute instances parallelly, etc. I'll say tests, which means all these tests what you have here should be executed parallelly. Test 1, test 2 and test 3 are going to be executed parallelly. This is where we achieve the parallel browser execution and cross browser testing. So we are testing the same set of code on different browsers. So let me just execute this. All three browsers will get initiated now. And on all three browsers, it's going to navigate onto Chrome. It's going to navigate onto Magento, and it's going to click on My Account, and it's going to execute. So this is about your cross-browser testing. It's about the capability what you add in your testng XML. This is something internally provided by your XML files. So as you can see here, it has navigated onto magento.com. It is getting onto my account page in Chrome. It's just waiting to click on my account in Internet Explorer and on Firefox. So it has navigated onto the page in the Chrome browser. Execution has completed on Chrome. On Internet Explorer and on Firefox it has gotten again. It's going to click on logout. Onto Internet Explorer it's set to click on my account. So the process or the speed at which it executes depends on the functionality of the browser. Internet Explorer is by default a bit slow, so it did not execute that fast. But when you consider Chrome or Firefox, it has executed parallelly and completed the task. So this is how your cross-browser testing is going to work. So any doubts till this point of cross-browser testing? So maybe for people who are new to
Uh,
testng, you might find it a bit difficult, but this is the concept behind cross-browser testing. Once we come across testng, maybe you can understand it more in detail. Sorry, Vinitya, you can go ahead.
One doubt was the only configuration part differs is as of now we have used the same machine. So
Yeah.
while actually configuring different machines, the IP address will change and the correct port IDs are to be given
Yes.
as of now, right?
Yes. So as of now, what
And
happens is I have initiated this on
yeah,
different ports. But if you change the mission, ports can be 4444. Maybe instead of localhost, you will have different IP. That can be parameterized. Port can be 4444 or port can be 3333 standard for all the submissions which you connect. Only the host is going to vary.
yes, and also we need manually from command prompt. So even that can be automated. I mean, whenever we get a
Yes,
new build,
writing a batch file.
a script is written which can trigger, yeah.
You can
So
create
batch
a batch
file
file
can
and you
suffice
can
this.
trigger a batch file from your Java code.
Okay.
So once you pass capabilities onto your Excel and you say run on these many grids or run on these many ports, you can do that as well. Right from the Excel, you call in the values, you create a batch file manually. So any files can be created from your Java frontend. You just write some content into the file, save it as any format. That file would be created as your requirement. You can create a XML file, you can create a Excel file, you can create a WordPad file, Notepad file, .txt can be created, .bat can be created. So you can create any file from your Java. So you can create a batch file also manually by getting the input from the user, and you can customize your framework as how much ever you want, and you can get the complete details from the user from Excel, and based on that you can create a batch file, you can start the server, you can start the nodes onto the node missions, and you can execute it as well. The only problem is when you're running the code on your hub, your nodes cannot be triggered unless or until they are connected to the hub. And if you want the connection to the hub, obviously you will have to run the command. So on nodes you don't have a choice of automation. Maybe you can have a readily available batch file which can be executed on node, but it cannot be automated on node. That is what I mean to say. Automation cannot happen on node, but a file can be triggered on node.
Okay.
Because unless or until you connect the node to your hub, you cannot reach the node and trigger something there.
Okay, so in case of bad file, do we need to take care which ports are free and all that logic needs to be in place, or we can handle that
No,
manually?
there are
I mean, in
certain
real time
command prompt.
scenario.
Yeah, so there are certain command prompt executions which would kill the task that is running on a certain port if you want. You can kill the task on a
Okay,
port and you can start yours, provided you are the complete master of that system and only your code is going to run on the system. You can kill the task if at all it is running and you can start a new port.
okay.
Those command prompt executables
And
are available. Yeah.
does this differ from like we are using Selenium Java here? So does the logic and things remain same with Selenium C Sharp as well, or there is a tweak or some difference?
No, there is no difference at all. Starting the hub and starting the server, you need to use the jar file anyway. Even you use C sharp,
Okay.
you have server file as
Yeah.
.jar only. You will have to start the servers,
Okay.
but the codes are going to be same.
Okay.
So you can initiate a
Thank
remote
you.
server and you can connect it to the URL of your hub and node.
Yes.
So any more doubts, guys? So this is about doing it on physical machines. If suppose you wanted to do the same on cloud platforms, that is also a scope of today's session. So if suppose you wanted to do these things on cloud platforms, you get on to seleniumhq.org, scroll down. These contributors of Selenium or sponsors of Selenium are the people who provide cloud platforms. Browser Stack, Expertus, Sauce Labs, Synthetics, Apply Tools, Cross Browser Testing. These are all cloud platform providers. RunnerX, Microfocus, and Subject. These are all certain tools or products that uses Selenium at the backend. But these are all cloud platform providers. So on cross browser testing, there is a free account available where you can actually initiate system activities, system testing. And on Expertus, it's going to be mobile testing platform. Browser stack is again going to be system browser activities and mobile browsers. So cross browser and browser stack are purely browsers. Expertest is something where you can also test mobile native applications. So it's purely for mobile. You don't have desktop application. It's purely for mobile. You can do mobile native or mobile browser applications over here. But cross browser, when you consider it's purely for browser, you can do mobile browser or system browser or desktop browser or any browser applications you can initiate. It can be iPad or mobile or iPod, etc. So on cross browser testing, you can create free account both on Expertest and on cross browser testing with official ID. You need an official ID to create an account over here. That is at the rate clearcodeconsulting.com, at the rate oracle.com. So you need official ID like that. You cannot use at the rate Gmail or at the rate Yahoo and you can create one. You'll have to use official ID in order to create an account with these people, a free account with these people. So once you have created an account, you can get onto the test center. I have created one account and I'm getting onto the test center where you will get access to various browsers and various configurations. So under test center, you can get onto automation. On automation, you can choose whatever you want, which operating system you want, and which particular browser you want in that operating system. So you have various versions of the browser and you have various resolutions of the browser as well. So you can choose any browser you want and the resolution that you want and say view full script. So this gives you a script on different environments. You can choose Java, and as you can see here, this is going to make use of the basic test functionalities just by setting the capabilities equivalent to what we have been doing so far. Only thing is it will have some additional capabilities. But the URL when you consider is going to be, instead of connecting to localhost, it's going to connect to the www, that is World Wide Web. At this point, hub.crossbrowsertesting.com. This is where :80. So this is where your cross-browser testing is integrated. And you use your username :password as a authentication. Since you are accessing a private network, you need authentication to get into that network. You send it along with username colon password, you will get access to that private network. The username and password are going to be available at the top. It would be available for every individual user who creates it, and only on this particular user ID you will get access to. So let me just use that now. So I'll just set up these capabilities as default capabilities. I'll take this, I'll put it over here wherever I had set capability. So let's say Firefox. If in case it asks for Firefox, I'll comment all of these together and I'll put that. So if I want, sorry, I'll add this to Chrome. Instead of Firefox, I'll add it to Chrome because it is Chrome browser. It's CAP that we have initiated, so you can remove yes from there. Chrome browser is initiated like this. And in this case, the URL is going to be same for anything you want. So you need not worry about that. So this is going to be for Chrome browser. Let me just change the browser over here. Firefox. I'll use Firefox 59 x64. I'll copy the capabilities and apply it for Firefox. Remove yes. And similarly for IE. Just scroll up to the top. Change this to IE. Version 11 IE. Scroll down and capture the capabilities. So when you are working with cloud platforms, the capabilities would be automatically provided. Your task would be to just copy paste them into your normal code what you have already created. I am not changing my test case over here. I am just changing only the capabilities over here. All that you need to do is just change the capabilities like this. That's it. Internet Explorer capabilities have been passed in. Now, the three capabilities have been passed in and the URL. So when you deal with the URL, it's going to be this thing, which says http:/hub. Just copy that and paste it in your URL. You need username and password. You can capture that at the top. Test score, where is it being used? Yeah. So it's a pass or fail status that it updates. We are not going to use that anyway in our coding. So you can just copy the URL part alone, put it at the top. Save it. So now again it's going to be the set of same execution. We are going to run our codes onto a cloud platform now, onto a remote machine now. So all these codes have been compiled and now let me just execute it. I'll get onto this cloud platform, view test results. As you can see there, one Internet Explorer, one Chrome and one Firefox have been initiated and it is getting executed now. As you can see there, it's telling running. So it would be executing the code. If you just click on that running button, it will show you the visuals. As you can see there, it has navigated and it's doing good with Internet Explorer. You will get the result of all three executions into your platform. So you need not do starting the hub, starting the node, starting grid, all that. It's purely into your commands that gets updated. So your command itself takes care of everything. So test has been completed successfully. You can get on to test details. So test score should be set to pass or fail accordingly, which we haven't set actually. So that is one API call which you need to do, or web service call which you need to do in order to set the status as pass and fail accordingly. So every different platform will have certain activities like this specific to the platform, but activities common to the platform is going to be setting these capabilities. It will give the list of capabilities and the URL that you need to connect, which you can pass on and you can just execute your test on the cloud platform. So as you saw now, it can actually initiate various tests, everything together. So if you just see over here, it can initiate various versions of the browser. You can do a testing on all versions of the browser at the same time, if in case you prefer to, and at different resolutions and different sizes. It provides you immense activities in these environments. And the dashboard will tell you on how many tests have been executed or what is the duration that you have run on. And if in case you want the same test to be executed on mobile, you can get onto mobile platform, choose a device of your choice, and choose a browser onto that particular device. Maybe when you choose iPhone 8, you can choose the browser that you want. It can be Safari or Chrome browser, Chrome mobile browser, and you can initiate the execution. So these are all different activities what you can do with respect to different applications, and in different languages how you can script them. It gives you the capability list. You just say view full script, it gives you the complete script that you can copy paste for a basic testing activity on some common website. So the website that it tries to access is cross-browser testing github.io selenium example page.html. This is the web page it tries to access in order to do a default testing from that particular test environment. So this is the page that it would test. Various activities, that is input, select from drop down, checkbox, radio button, submit button, exit, and then show message, that is for pop-up or for showing the message. Go to page 2. So it has link everything you want in a particular web page in order to do testing. It has all those components available over here. So using that, it will show you a sample execution if you run this particular test script. So everything is under the control of your Eclipse. And there are certain plugins available provided by these people, which when you add it to your Eclipse, you will have the right side window which shows the visual of what is happening. The visuals will start appearing onto your Eclipse itself. The visuals of the browsers will start appearing onto your Eclipse itself when you install certain plugins provided by these people. So this is about your cross-browser testing, grid, and cloud testing.
One question here.
Yeah.
The browsers that are invoked on the cloud platform, are they headless or are they similar to what we invoke in a physical machine?
They are equivalent to what you invoke in physical machine. Headless browsers, you need not require a remote environment. You can directly do it using some Jenkins or continuous integration tools straight away on your normal machines.
Okay. So in case we want the parallel browser execution through Selenium Grid, we can achieve via headless Selenium Grid as well.
Yes, the
I mean,
capabilities are
that
allowed going
ways.
to change. Maybe it would change from Internet Explorer Firefox to a Ghost driver. That is nothing but your Phantom JS driver. So just the browser name alone would change. Instead of Internet Explorer, it will be Phantom JS or Ghost driver, etc.
Okay. And it needs a corresponding driver exe file,
Yes,
or
exactly.
will do.
So you will have to say set that d.webdriver.gecko.driver or webdriver.phantomjs.driver as wherever it is available, the exe of that.
Okay.
So this is all about the session for the day. Any more doubts or clarifications you have? The recording will come up live shortly on this particular website, so you can navigate onto clearcodeconsulting.com, and onto clearcodeconsulting.com you can see the recording available onto CCCS CAM, that is Clear Code Consulting Services CAM. Onto that, when you scroll a bit down, you will have the recordings available for all the previous sessions, and this session recording will also get added over here.
Hello, Natarajan.
Yes, Nirav.
Can we have a link for this, like on the chat window?
Yeah, sure, I'll share it.
Yeah, thank you.